All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to add one more step to this where after you write the equation of the line, I'd like you to graph it, which is a big chunk of what we did our last unit where you had to graph the equation. So we'll quickly go through this process. Step one, find your slope. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So my slope ends up being 2 over 10. Reduce that, please, to 1/5. Okay, I'm going to pick a point. I'm going to use this one because of the 0. X, y, and my slope for m are going to get plugged into this generic slope-intercept formula. So the y value is 0. The m is 1/5. The x is 5. Plus b. 1/5 times 5 is 1. So again, we're trying to isolate the b, so we have to get rid of the 1 by subtracting. So my b is -1. That's part 3. So then the last part is to put it all together. Your equation is y equals 1/5 x minus 1. So when you graph this, right, your y-intercept, you start on the y-axis at -1. Your slope tells you to count up 1 and 5 to the right. If you can give me more than 1 point, please do so. So I'm going to graph this using my line tool. If you're using Kami, hopefully by now, the hundreds of these that we've done, you found your line tool by now. Okay, the nice thing about this, so you can graph this, and I do want you to graph it using the equation of the line, but this other point here, -5, -2, it's also on the line. Even though we didn't graph it, we did graph it. All right, another one real quick. Find your slope first. y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So that is -1/3 for the slope. I'm going to use 0, -2 for my x and y. So that's going to give me a 0 when I multiply here. So my b value is -2. That right there is why I always pick the one that has a 0 in it. It makes the math just a little bit easier. So my final equation, step 4, y equals -1/3 x minus 2. So when I graph it, start at -2, down 1, 3 to the right. Do it again if you can. I'm going to draw my line here. Got a little off there. And again, I graphed all the points even without graphing all the points. 3, -3, 0, -2. So there are other points out here that we have graphed that are points on the line, even though we didn't have them or have access to them.